Hi everyone, how are you today? Today I want to talk about something that is really important, especially for sensitive helpers, talking to you, therapists, wellness professionals, even if that's not your job title, but your work is in the field of being of service, of bringing in transformation, of inspiring, of healing, all of that. And what I want to talk about today specifically is this whole notion of you going for it, going for your goals, going for your dreams, even setting up goals, connecting with your desires, your intentions, and all of that. And I know I did a whole podcast episode, sorry, the lighting's going to be a little off, but about connecting with your desires and knowing what your desires are. And so if you're watching this and you're like, I don't even know how to access my desires, look up that podcast episode. It's called something about desires. I'll put it in the comments. It's on YouTube as well. But even if you don't, even if in this moment you're not clear, I just want you to think about the act of goal setting, right? Of setting or if you don't like the word goal, setting an intention. And I know you've heard this many times. The reason we don't achieve our goals, fulfill our dreams, fulfill our intentions is because we quit. Obviously, that's not a radical thought. We know that is true. But I want to talk about why we quit. Like, why do we not go for it? Like, one of the main reasons. And one of the main reasons is that we are afraid of how we're going to feel if we don't achieve our goal, if we don't achieve our desire. So now I'm walking through really sunny area. So I'm gonna give you an example. So let's say you set a goal that in this month of November, let's say you're a therapist or a coach or whatever, and you set a goal that you want to have 3 new clients this month. And don't get caught up in the specifics. You decide whatever it is for you. Maybe for you decide it's a monetary, financial goal. Maybe it's a goal, something to do with your physical body. Maybe it's a goal of connecting with more people, whatever it is. So let's say you say that's the goal. But then, you start to imagine not reaching the goal, right? You start to imagine, what if that doesn't happen? Let's stick with the 3 clients. What if it doesn't happen? What if, I come to the end of November and it hasn't happened? And the reason that's so frightening is because of what you're afraid you're going to feel. Think about that. And this is extra challenging for us sensitive helpers, because we feel things incredibly deeply. And I've already, shared many times, I'm trying to find a shady spot where I can stand. Maybe here. I've shared many times how, we've often had this very challenging curriculum, right? These challenging experiences that have made us doubt our self-worth, have made us doubt our capacities, doubt our strength, our power, our goodness, all of those things. And so this is like the perfect storm to have us really be afraid of setting goals and going for them. Or if we do set the goals and go for them, we just put so much pressure. We beat ourselves up about them along the way. So back to the question, it's like, how would you feel if you set a goal? And let me back up. I'm bringing this up because I've been really reflecting on this as it's November, the last 2 months of 2025, whenever you're watching this, but the last 2 months of the year. And this is a time often where we could put kind of the brakes on, metaphorically speaking, kind of like, okay, I'm just going to coast till the end of the year, or, it's going to be so busy with holidays and family stuff, so I'm just going to not stay focused, or I'm going to just focus on the next year. Like, I'm just going to plan the next year and not be present for the last 2 months. And I really don't want to do that personally. And I know with my clients, I'm coaching them as well to we want to stay present. Your presence is your power. And there's still so much to accomplish these last 2 months. Don't let that freak you out, right? I know everybody's in a different season of their service. So for you, your accomplishment might be very like, finish your book, get 5 new clients, monetary goal. For others of you, you might be in recovery, and it might be like, oh my gosh, I really want to have a strong foundation of self-care and self-nurturing and honoring myself and all of that. So whatever it is. But the point is, we want to stay present these last 2 months. And my coach, one of my coaches, she came back from maternity leave. Yay! And so we had a session today, and she came back with a bang, which I fully expected, right? And so she's really challenging us. These are all other coaches from around the world, other helpers, to stay present and focused. And it brought up just this whole reflection on our fears of doing that. Ultimately, the fear for most of us is that fear of failure and what we're going to make that mean about ourselves. And so I want you to think about it in this way. What is a feeling that you're afraid of feeling? A feeling that you resist, a feeling that as soon as you feel it, it's like hot potato. You're like, ugh, I don't want this feeling. What is it for you? I know for me, the feeling of shame or embarrassment is a huge feeling that I just can really take me down like when I'm feeling that. And I know nobody likes to feel shame, but part of my childhood and my wounds that I've healed had a lot to do with shame, right? So that's like a particularly core feeling. And so what my brain can do if I set a goal and then I don't reach it, or even before I don't reach it, but it's not going the right way, it just starts beating me up. Oh, well, you're this, you're that. And then that shame feeling comes up, and then I hate that feeling. And so I notice how my brain can very cleverly try to be like, okay, well, let's just bring our goals down, because that way we won't be disappointed, we won't feel ashamed, and everything will be nice. And that's one strategy, but it's not sustainable, and it doesn't help you create the impact you're here to create. And it's also not about resisting the emotion. So it's not about, okay, I'm going to go for my goal, and whatever negative emotion comes up, I'm just going to push it and keep going. That is sustainable for a short amount of time. Eventually, those emotions will come out, either in an outburst, illness, whatever, different ways. So that's not what we want either. What you truly want is to increase your capacity to have those negative emotions come up and keep going anyway. It's not about being positive. It's not that you have to be joyful and, feel happy the whole time. It's just that you increase your capacity. So I've been in this major, since September, increasing my capacity to feel shame come up in my body. I know that doesn't sound fun. And it's not like I consciously thought that, September, let me increase my capacity to feel shame. No, I consciously did not think that, but clearly that was a plan of my soul, because there was an event that unfolded that was very shocking and unsurprising. Shocking and surprising. I guess those are synonyms, right? But that just brought up a lot of that. It's very unexpected. And I've processed it. I've talked to my coach. I've done all of the work that I know to do. And I'm in a much better place, but I still get waves of it that comes up. And I notice how actually I'm really good at it coming up and distracting myself with really positive things. Let me go take a walk. Let me pull some oracle cards. Let me pray. Let me meditate. And all of those have a place for sure. And there are times where that is actually the strategy to do, right? There might be times where I'm about to do something forward facing, right, in front of a lot of people. And if shame comes up, I need to align. It's not the time for me to sit and process, right? I have to move forward. But what's essential, if I truly want to be on the other side of this initiation that my soul set up for me, what's an initiation? An experience, often a challenging one like this one, where it has the potential to align us more deeply with our soul, right? This has the potential for me, of course, in the year of the snake, to increase my capacity so that when shame comes up, it's not that I don't ever feel it again. It's not that I learn how to squeeze it in a box inside of me so it never comes out, because that's not realistic or healthy. it's that it comes out and I don't have the fear of it anymore, because I recognize how much fear, because that, again, there was such a trauma around that. All of the parts inside of me are like, shame, but it's like, no, I'm increasing my capacity. And I keep telling myself, it's like, it's safe for me to have this feeling in my body. I'm increasing my capacity to have shame in my body. I'm releasing the fear of shame. I'm releasing being afraid of it. Like, I'm increasing the amount of my soul's light that I can carry, so that when the shame is there, it feels like this. Even if it's big, it feels like this, because everything else is so much bigger. And so for you, so when I coach my clients through this, I want to make it clear, it's not about hustle through it, right? It's like if my clients have a goal that they want to set, and stuff is coming up for them, as it does, right? That's why you hire a coach, to talk about these things. But it's not that I'm like, go do it no matter what. No, it's like, there's different things I use, right? There's noticing the thoughts that are creating shame. Sometimes the thought is, I shouldn't have shame. This is so dumb of me. Why am I feeling ashamed? Right? So I help my clients, through tools like identify the thoughts. Because once you identify the thought, you can change the thought. There's also parts work, right? That's part of my emotional power process, which is finding those parts inside of you that might be holding old stories, old programming, befriending them, helping them unburden, helping them find new roles, right? There's that aspect of it. Then there's also the energetic aspect, right? I'm also, a Reiki master, energy healing. So there's also that aspect. I'm sharing all this so that you realize, right? This is a process. And so my clients know how to do Reiki on themselves, know how to have an understanding of energy work. And now for every client, it's different, right? They'll gravitate towards one, and also in my sessions, it all flows very naturally, right? So I might realize, we need to work with this part, or, let's do some, let me go into a energetic healing space. And then, of course, there's the tools of spiritual principles, of knowing how to increase your capacity to be in alignment with your soul, to connect with your spirit guides, to receive the support from your soul, even as you're going through all this. I have been leaning on this so much the last, since mid-September. I've done all the tools, but sometimes literally when I know it can feel so heavy with emotions at times that all the tools just like don't feel like they're working. But that place of surrender and just asking God, Mother Mary, Jesus, Kuan Yin, whomever I'm aligning to my soul, to just help me, like hold me, like, I've been leaning on that a lot. And I've had enough cycles in my life like this where that is a big, kind of the biggest tools I'm using to know the spiritual growth that happens when we're in that space. When we're in those spaces where there might be so much pain that we literally can't rely, the ego structure, you can't rely on it, right? It's like that I feel like, okay, Mother Mary, I need you right here, holding my hand, holding my shoulder, right? And I know I'm using these Christian spiritual guides, but you can, whomever you connect with. So anyway, back to the question, what is a feeling that you might be resisting, that might be holding you back? Because these last 2 months, I want them to be the greatest months of the year. What if that was true? Like these 2 months are like your most powerful months, your most impactful months, your most self-loving months, your most nurturing months. Notice I'm not saying your most positive, gleeful months. That would be awesome. I want a lot of joy these last 2 months. But we're really connecting with those powerful, like your sovereignty and power. So I'm going to leave you at that. This is a longer one. Can't believe there's only like next Monday on the 11th will be the last of these 30 days. This was I'll have a reflection on that. But I'm sending you so much love, and I'm thinking about you. Bye.